something in the way I feel that she don't want me to feel. The stare she bears cut me, I don't care, see, so what if I bleed? I could never change just what I feel, my face will never show what is not real. I could've lied, I'm such a fool, my eyes never ever keep their cool. I showed her and I told her how she struck me and I'm fucked up now. Hey, how you doing? Justin here for another slice of John Frusciante Genius. Man, this is a killer song. It's I Could Have Lied by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So many tasty things here to check out. Like the riff is genius, of course, but the way he's using some of the chord grips as well, very, very cool. Does seem a little bit different in some of the live versions, but that's typical for the Chili Peppers. So I'm going to give you what I'm fairly sure is what was played on the original recording, but I'll talk about any bits that I'm uncertain about. I mean, it's just a cracking tune, standard tuning, acoustic guitar. Let's go. So we start with an open A string, open 5th string, and then first finger is going to hammer on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Okay, make sure it's a nice solid hammer there. I want that note to be nice and clear. Then we play the open 4th string, back to playing the 2nd fret on the 5th string, first finger, and then little finger goes down, 4th fret on the 4th string. Okay, pick, hammer, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string. Then we do all of it except for the first note again. So we start with the 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, little finger goes back down, and then that again. 2nd fret of the 5th string, open 4th string, 2nd fret, and then little finger down again. But before we go any further, I want to talk about the rhythm here, because that's the bit that most people seem to get in a bit of a muddle with here. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Okay, now, I always say that learning by listening is the best approach, but sometimes with a rhythm like this, it can be really helpful to understand what's going on. Now, doing the 16th note count is probably a little tricky, but at least understanding where the notes are falling on the beat or relative to the beat, I think will be really helpful. So let's just go through it a couple of times nice and slow, this section, and look at the way it's structured rhythmically. The first rhythmic group is 4 16th notes finishing with a note on beat 2. So 1 E and a 2. Then we've got the and after 2 and a 3. Here, this is falling on beat 3, and then the E after 3. So we end up with 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and a 4 E and then again this is coming on the last 16th note of beat 3, which would be an a 4 E and. So the whole thing, 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Okay, really important to get used to this idea of where the beats are. So the beat is falling here, 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 here on the open D string. Okay, 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. This last part, little finger is sliding up to the 7th fret while we play the open 5th string. Then 2nd finger is going to play the 5th fret on the 4th string. And then you move that down 1 fret, and then thumb is going to play the 3rd fret on the thicker string the same time as you play that lovely G major 7 grip. Nice and crunchy bit of dissonance. If you struggle with the thumb over, you can just use your first finger. I find it easier to use my first finger sometimes anyway, so completely up to you which one of those choices you're going to make there. I'm pretty sure John uses his thumb. And then you play the open D string and then the bass note again. And that rhythm is 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. I'm sure you've heard that in the recording. So basically, when you're doing these repeats, there's the first one, second one, the third one, you play the first note, but your bar's going to need to come down, and you're going to use, I use my ring finger there to pluck the second string. So first finger is doing a bar, and we're playing second fret, third fret, flick off. So second or third fret, hammer on, flick off, on the second string, and then we join back in with that note on the fourth fret of the fourth string. Rest of it stays the same. Just need to work on your timing. It's happening right on beat 4. Remember I said to you that D was falling on beat 4. Well, it's falling right on beat 4. 4, 1. Hard actually not to count it with the 16th notes, but finger picking wise, we're using the thumb for all of the notes on the 5th string and the first finger for all of the notes on the 4th string. That happens all of the way through the riff. Except there. So that's going to be, I'm using my third finger, I don't think it really matters, you could use your second finger just for that little twiddle. Otherwise it's just first finger and thumb all of the way. Let me play it one more time. Variation. Now, one thing about this syncopation going on, that is the kind of strangeness in the rhythm, is it's a little bit difficult to sing over. I had quite a few goes and I'm very familiar with the song, so I knew how it was supposed to go in my musical imagination, but getting myself to be able to sing over the top of it while I was playing it was a little bit sticky. Again, you have to automate one of the parts, so I had to practice a guitar part enough that it would happen kind of without thinking about it too much to be able to sing over it, but I still... my attention was flicking quickly between my singing and the guitar playing. It's quite a tricky one for singing and playing at the same time. If you're new to singing and playing at the same time, this wouldn't be a good first choice. So let's have a look at the bridge now. We start with a B chord, which is an A-shape bar chord. So third finger is barring strings 2, 3 and 4. First finger is playing the root note, which is the note B. Second fret in the 5th string. Thinner string should be muted, and thicker string should be muted, both by the first finger really. Third finger might help with the muting of the thinner string. Let's talk about the chords first and then we'll talk about the rhythm. So we've got B, then D, so just moving it up 3 frets. So first finger is on the root note D, 5th fret, 5th string. Then we've got an A with the thinnest 2 strings ringing out. So it's like an A bar chord using an E shape, but you lift off your first finger, so you get those thinnest 2 strings ringing out. Sounds real lovely. And then we're down to a G. Okay, so we've got B, D, A with the open strings. I guess you call it A add 9 to G. Technically, I guess a G6. But the interesting part here again is the rhythm. Okay, 1, 2 E and up 3 E and 4 E and 1 E So that's down, down, up, up, down, down, up, down. 1, 2 E and up, 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2 E and up, 3 E and 4 E and. Notice the little lift of the D. After the first drum, lift, up, down, down, up, down. 1, 2 E and up, 3 E and 4 E and. Down, up on the A, down, up, mute, down, down. Okay, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4. That bridge section again, a little closer to the original tempo. Now on the original recording there you can really hear the acoustic guitar. I call it gasping. It's very heavily compressed. It sounds a little bit more like an electric guitar. If you've got a compressor pedal you might want to whack it up and squash it down a little bit. It really gives a lot of weight to the acoustic guitar part as a kind of contrast to the other section. It sounds amazing. I suspect it's kind of studio compression, not a pedal, but yeah. So we're at the chorus now, and I just want to mention before we get going that for me, there seems to be a discrepancy between what I hear on the original recording and the way John seems to play it live. It looks like he's playing regular bar chords. They're mostly 5th string root, but I'm sure on the record I can hear the thinner string ringing out. Now, it could be an overdub. There could be more than one guitar part. That would be quite a normal kind of a thing to happen. But there's a really lovely way that John uses bar chords that's not his thing, but he's the guy that I kind of associate this technique with. And if you use these particular grips, you get that top note of the chord, and it sounds really good. So I'm going to show you that first. But as I'm saying what the chords are anyway, you could choose to just use regular bar chords. If you struggle with the grips that I show you, remember that you can use regular bar chord shapes as well. So what we've got here is an E minor to G, D, C, with quite a specific rhythm, but we'll talk about that in a sec. This is what I seem to see John playing live most, just regular E minor bar chord grip. This is a 7th fret root note, a minor shape grip, to a G with a 3rd finger bar there, 1st finger root note in the 10th fret. Same grip, 1st finger in the 5th fret for the D, and 3rd fret for the C. Now that's totally fine, but what I definitely hear on the record is this movement of there on the E minor, that on the G, that on the D, and that on the C. Now you could play it like little grips like this, E minor to G, to D, to C as an overdub. But what I think John is using here is one of my favourite of his tricks, and it works great with distortion as well, is instead of playing like a full E minor, you just lift off little finger. So you end up with muting the thicker string, 7th fret, 9th fret, mute, 8th fret, and then the thinner string. Now, playing a regular E minor works there too, it's not much more difficult, but for the next grip it does make a difference, and that's the G chord. Now, if you wanted, like, I've got just about the right length finger to be able to use a bar and get that note. But it's a little bit awkward, and in the moment, especially if I was jumping around like John Frusciante on stage, I wouldn't be able to do that and get that note. Could be why he just plays this and ignores that top note live, I guess. But if you use this grip, you get that top note. So it looks like a G, like I'm playing a G7, but the trick is that I'm muting the 3rd string. That's the trick. So I'm playing 10, 12, muted, 12, 10. And just, it's a little bit fuzzy there. Need to work on this a little bit more. It's awkward up this far. But you can hear there, you can clearly get that note out of the G chord. Whereas here, it's just, I can kind of get it most of the time. This way, I'm definitely getting that note. So nothing on the thicker string, 10, 12, nothing, 12, 10. you can strum it. Okay, so we're just, all we've done is taken off that note, which is the octave of the root anyway. It's a bit superfluous. So that would be the G chord I'd recommend. Works exactly the same for the D. So muted, 5th, 7th, muted, 7th, 5th, and moving it down again. Okay, rhythm again, let's talk about that. So we've got 1, 2, E and up, 3, E and 4, E and 1, E and up, 2 and. So from the D, down, up, down on the C. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and up. So on the C, we're landing on the and after 2, 2 and 3 E and 4 E and up. So up, down, up, down, up on the C. All of that together nice and slow so you can see the rhythm. 1, 2 E and up, 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2 E and up, 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and up. Now, that kind of strumming pattern might seem a little complicated. Remember, you don't have to be like exact with it, but that's your starting point. If you add in a couple of extra strums or you leave some out or whatever, as long as you keep your hand moving and you keep in time, it's all going to sound fine. Now, toward the end of the tune, he changes that same rhythm pattern around quite a bit. It sounds great. Particularly, he starts using 16th note strumming, so continuous 16th note strumming. So it's just about keeping that hand moving. Again, it's not like every note, and you want to be thinking about dynamics, hitting some loud, some soft. But again, that's kind of a feel thing. For me to try and explain exactly which strums should be louder than other ones by percentage or something would be a little bit crazy. Again, listening to the original recording, at least if you know what you're doing and you know where the accents are going to fall, because they're, I guess, the most important bit, where the chord changes are happening, where the accents are, then the rest of it you can just kind of flesh out as you feel it. Okay, last section, which is the rhythm guitar under the solo. Okay, it's got a B minor chord, occasionally this nice little hammer on there, the second finger. A to G, bar chords. Or you could use open chords. Okay, it's all fairly just groovy. Not really a specific pattern there. Like I said, it really doesn't matter which way you want to play that rhythm part. It depends on how geeky you want to get on your Frusciante stylings, I suppose. One thing to work out is this 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. So the very last time he's doing the A to the G, he picks up the same accent that we had at the riff. 1 E and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we're back into some riffage. Well, I think we're there for this one. What a great tune this is. John Frusciante really is one of the greatest guitar players of the 20th century and 21st century, actually. Just, yeah, amazing on every different level. Plays for the song as well, like the solos. The solo in this song, quite understated, playing off the melody, all of the things that you'd expect in a great guitar solo, but live he just tears at a new one. It's like, man, yeah, proper musical genius type level, this guy. I'm sure you're a fan as well if you're checking this out already, but thinking about doing the solo for this song, because it is one that's got some beautiful little moments in it, but it's one that, you know, I think that if you're a big Chili Peppers fan, you should be trying to work it out on your own. There's a load of benefit for learning solos, actually learning whole songs really, but things like this have got quite a few little tricky parts to it. But the solo, not saying it's easy, but it's probably easier than a lot of the rest of the song is. If you just take it one note at a time and have a go at working it out. But If you had a go at it and you're like, nah man, can't be doing that, Justin, please give us a lesson on that solo. Let me know in the comments either on YouTube or the website, and I will try and check it out. If you are over on YouTube, I always appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. It really does make a big difference if you support the channel that way, and it only takes one little click, and you could slap the like while you're down there as well. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you for plenty more Chili Peppers very soon. You all take care of yourselves. Bye bye.